Hey guys, welcome to the styling part of this tutorial. So what we did lastly is converting the wireframe and bring it to Photoshop to have a detailed one. So what we're going to do now is to style this out. First thing we need to do is to focus only on the heading part, like on the logo, the navigation, the background image, and this browsers right here. So to get started, I've actually downloaded a sample image that we can test on. I downloaded this on Stockfresh, so I'll include this on the resource below. So just download it and use it for personal use only. So open up to Photoshop. So this is a office workspace. Cut it out and bring it back here. So this is the background. So remove the rectangle and make this stretch to the very top like that, and paste the image above it. Right click and create clipping mask so that it will mask to this base layer, which is this rectangle right here. You can actually resize it by pressing Ctrl T like that and bring it upwards like that. Something that looks like this. Position is great, and the thing we need to do is to blur this out. So to do this, go to filter and blur. We have this available option for Photoshop CS6, which is field blur, or you can also use Gaussian blur for the previous version who is using CS5 down to the previous one. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use field blur. So 15 pixel is too much. Try maybe 10. Yeah, something like that. And click on OK. Then we're going to play with contrast. So what I'm going to do now is go to image and go to levels, pump up the darkness to about 10, and then the gray to 1, and I'm going to add a photo filter and make it black and pump up the density to 60, something like that one. And then Go to adjustment again and go to curves and pump up the darkness a bit and increase the light, something like that. And let's adjust this. And increase the blur, maybe something like that. And then in this layer we're going to apply a pattern overlay, so something like this one. And decrease the opacity to 20 pixels. Or maybe 10 pixels will do, or 15 pixels. Yeah, 10 pixels will do, something like that one. And then let's turn the opacity down to 80 or 70%. I mean the fill color. And for this line, let's turn this to 20%. And for our logo, let's add a drop shadow. Did I done it right? Yes. Drop shadow. Make this 90 and 0. Or maybe increase it to 1. And lower down the opacity to 30 or 40. Increase it to 2. Something that looks like that, or just maybe increase this to 2 pixels and decrease the opacity to 30%. Do the same here. What we can actually do, if we have lighter part here and we want it to be darker to make the logo pump up, let's use the burn tool and decrease the exposure to about 20% and just slowly add some darkness there. Something like that, as well as here, because we want it to pump it out more. And then increase the lightness by using dodge tool on the lighter section of this image, so something like that. And I also prepared the scheme I use for you to see. For the button, I'll be using this red color and this one light gray for or read more buttons, and then this color will be a part of a background, and this white color is for our main background. So we will apply that later on, as you can see right here. If we're going to compare that one, it's still too far, but we will not exactly. We're just trying to get closer to this one. Can't remember what is the effect or the settings I've applied to this, but let's make it closer to that one. So let's apply again some adjustments, and for now let's apply a photo filter. The underwater to about 60 to 50, something like that. And then for this button, we're going to use this color FB2F3A, and to pump this out more, let's go add a drop shadow for it. 2, 1 will do, and decrease the opacity to 50% or 40. Just make it 1 and 1, or maybe 2, 30. Yep, that will do. And for this text, let's make it lighter one, so maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. CCCC will do, and then let's add a drop shadow, the same to this one, as well as here. So to do this, just control select the logo and press Alt, then drag it to the layer you want to apply. Let's see if it's looking great. I guess so. And then for this browser, we need to change this to white one, and then, or maybe this color. Zoom in and apply a gradient overlay by 5 pixels to 10 or 7, and apply an inner shadow and make the color to white. So do the same for this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then apply it there, there. Next up, we'll just copy the screenshots I did here and place it right here. And create a clipping mask. So that it will be more easier, and do for dribble as well. Create clipping mask. And for Behance as well. Create clipping mask. What's next is let's going to style this out. So I'm just going to grab the color for this one. So this and this one. For the effect, let's try. First one will be a stroke. Make it white. Make it outside if you want. Inner shadow will be like something like this one. We can actually choke it inside and add a gradient to overlay. Something like that, and decrease the opacity to 50%. Or let's make an inner glow, decrease the choke, make this multiply, make it black, decrease the opacity, just do this, and inner glow will be white one, and then the blend mode will be screen. And 20. Kinda hate that stroke. Let's do a drop shadow instead. 1 0, make it normal. 100% is the opacity, and white one. Let's see which looks better. That looks good. We try to apply this to the other one. Let's see how it looks. If we get the effect. Yep. Like a bit closer. Let's just make this 30 and apply it again, and apply this here as well. So copy it, this color, and this color, and do it something that looks like that. Don't need to create for this one because it's hidden. So let's continue. So above this one, we will create a shadow. So make sure that it's right above everything. Right here is the perfect place. And create a selection, maybe 20%. Set the foreground to black and choose this one. And start dragging something like looks like this. And align it properly like that. And decrease the opacity to 30 or 40. And then resize it, like make it something that looks like this, 7 pixels, or maybe more, like 5 pixels. Something like that. And for the browser, we're going to select its base background here and find the base background of the other one, and by pressing Ctrl Shift you will see a plus sign on the layers panel with that pointing hand tool. Control click to that so it will add the selection. Find the last base layer and do the same. So we have a selection like this. And then outside of the browser, create a new layer and place it inside it. It will automatically bring that layer on the very bottom. Fill the layer with black color using the foreground. As you can see, it's filled now. I'm going to drag it, or you can just, when it's selected, use paint bucket tool to apply the color like that. And then go to filter, blur, and Gaussian blur. As you can see, the edges now have the shadow effect using the blur filter. Hit OK and decrease the opacity to 60 to 40%. I think 60 will be great. Something that looks like that. Next is to style this portion. So we will leave it this way for this time. next one will be this part. So let's go change the fill color to this one, and let's change this button fill color and we will also change the background to this one. And then we're going to change this as well to a darker one. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 D will be fine for that one. And let's change the icons color to 66666, something like that. And for this one, the background of those icons, let's add an effect. So apply an inner shadow, 1 1 will be fine, and decrease the opacity to 30%, and apply maybe a gradient overlay that is reversed, and increase the opacity to 10 or 5 pixels. And for each background, the circle area, let's add a gradient overlay 5% as well, and let's add a stroke inside it to color white, and apply a drop shadow about 2 3 4, maybe 2 or 3, yes, and decrease the opacity to 30 to 40%, something that looks like that. If it's too heavy for you or for me, let's try it 7. Nope. Let's try this 30%, something like that will do for me. And for each icons, I'm going to apply inner shadow as well. So 1 1, and the opacity will be 60 to 50, and add a drop shadow to white one, something like that. Apply to all of the icons. And so it's more look good for me. Let's see if we did it right here. So what I actually do here is too bright. Can't even see the details. But here I added more contrast So if I'm going to be the same as the background color, it still looks good, but making it darker, it's more noticeable and it's more good, I think. And let's make this heading to 3333. Do the same as well here. And for the text, I'm not sure what I color it, but let's try to copy it. So 70 for the text. And for this one, let's just add an inner glow. Make this multiply. Increase the opacity to 30% or 20. Add a drop shadow of 20. Something like that. Let's try to look at what I did here. So I've added an yap. So let's add an inner shadow and make this normal and decrease the opacity to 20 pixels or 15 will do. Something like that. Copy the styles. And then let's see the heading part. It looks good. On this part, it still looks good. Then what we can do maybe is to add a drop shadow for this one. Make it 0 and decrease the opacity to 30 or 40 or 60. Do the same as well right here. So as you can see, it's more crisp when it's on the original size, like here 100%. So let's move in, or actually we will need to add a drop shadow for this one. Make this normal, change the color to, let's see what I've added. I guess it's CCC, DDDD, but as let's try to add 1 2 3 4 5 6 D D D D. Okay, maybe decrease this to E5 E5 E5, something like that. And for the portfolio, no, we can actually add an inner shadow for this one, and let's make it white so it has more details and nice edges. So as you can see right there, I think that is enough on this section. For portfolio, let's just do the same. Change the fill color to 3333. Same as here. For the headings, and for the links will be red one. So this one is for the links. Change it to red one. For the text, it's 7D. Let's do the same. And for the tags, let's try to imitate the color. So 9999 for the tags. Because the main focus here is the title, not the tags. Let's try to do as an example, my theme, it's RV, and then first web designer and lab zip, first web designer. Let's just change this to logo design, web design, and web design. And for the other links, let's change it to the same color. So this one is red, and change this to 999. To add more contrast and nice text format and color. So for the domain, change it to red. The name will be, it's correct for the text, it's 70. So now the only thing we need to add is this one. So what we can do there is, the original size for this one is 220 by 160. Let's make the fill color to white and add a stroke. The color will be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 D D D D. Do the same here as well. 1, 2. Make the stroke color to this one as well as here, this one, and above it let's create a new layer and let's figure out what will be the size. So the padding or the margin on all corners will be 5 pixels. So that will be 220 minus 10 for left and right, and 160 minus 10. So 210 by 150. 210 by 150. Let's just change the color to do the same. What? It's for number 2? Yep. And then for number 3, duplicate it again, place it to 4. Something that looks like that. Oops. Then we need just to copy this one. Is it right there? And just change it to like that. Copy this as well. Paste it here. Make this white one. Do the same for lab zip. Make it white. Place it right above there. Something like that. Let's see what are the things we've missed. So this one, let's grab some images. So that's me. So you can add a clipping mask and let's copy 9gag logo. Stock fresh. Do it the same here. and change this to 9 gag. Then the domain will be 9gag.com, and make this normal. And for Facebook and Twitter, let's just copy the color. Since we style the button cleverly, we can just copy it and apply to this one to have the same effect. And maybe decrease the drop shadow to, yep, I think that is fine. Let's see what are the things we've missed. Let's try to go back on the top part. So the logo is good and it's noticeable. It grabs attention. This tagline here, the catchy text, and the call to action button is well presented, and it is more popped up and different compared to other buttons. So that's the main goal, to make the user click for this one. And for the browsers, it's pop up well with the help of the drop shadow at the back. So let's try to play it and add some more shadows. So let's increase it. Yeah, 60 I think is the best one. And this also helps separate this section here from this section. And that white stroke here, or the inner shadow, the white one helps to make it more distinguished. And we have a sharp edge with the lighter color. And for the icons here, I think I did it well here compared to the very light one. And I think what's missing here is I resized the icon to 40, which is smaller. Compare what I did to this one. It's 52. So let's try to make this 52. Like that. Let's try to align it. Same as here. here as well, 52. And this as well, 52. That's great. Portfolio section is in place. This one is in place. Footer section is in place. And for this one, let's make it D as well. So 1 2 3 4 5 6. Do the same for this one. And this, and lastly this one. Copyright Dip 2013. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. Let's see. How about in the banner part? I think I didn't copy the effect for this one. It's more lighter compared to mine here, but they are both closer to each other, and this have more contrast compared to that one. And let's change the drop shadow to 1 for this, and 1 for this as well. But for this one, we'll have a 2 pixel drop shadow. Let's see if we're going to compare it. But yeah, we've applied our main goal based on our inspiration. We added a blurry background that related to our work. So it is an office work, a design agency, and we showcase our works here. Like, for example, we did Dribble, First Web Designer Design, and for Behance. Just for example, that we did their website, because I think that's it. This 3 here examples are great websites, and here we did it well. We added more contrast and make this more noticeable compared to mine here. It's too light, and here it has more contrast, and I decided to make the button more bigger, equal to here. So this and this has the same size. In the portfolio section, nothing fancy, but it is aligned perfectly and they blend well. And for the icons, nothing fancy. And for the footer section, we have the testimonial right in place. We switch from our actual wireframe here to the left, to the right, and then we place it to the left here to make it balanced. The same here, our latest posts, latest tweets, and then the footer section. Let's see if we did it right. Yep. So that's it for this tutorial. I walk you through from the first part where to gain some inspiration from Dribble, DeviantArt, or Behance, and after that, with that inspiration in mind, you need to create a wireframe based off the goal of the website. So here is a general idea of what is my website will look like. And then after that is to decide what are the main colors and the text to be used. So search for inspiration again from other websites. So what I've got is Museo and Helvetica for the text. And where did I get it? I just searched it from Google, free ones, and apply it to the design. And also for the colors, great website for that is Color Lovers, where you can see some latest trends of color schemes of web design. And then with the inspiration you've liked and you want to apply in your design, you will start to make this by transferring first the initial wireframe to Photoshop before applying styles, because that will make your workflow more faster. Because at first you just try to place the elements on the right position and right alignment, spacing, etc., as well as the sizes of the text, the contrast, so that on the later one, when you will apply the styles, you will only focus on the styling to be applied. But it is more easier because you can contrast it on the previous part, which is from dark gray, light gray version. So in here, you notice that here I only just try to change the color darker, the right color, like 3333, and for the text is 77D. And then if you decided for your color scheme, what will it be? Place it like something like this so that you will not forget, and then you can just grab and click it and then apply it to the button itself. For example, here, if you decided to switch color, you just copy that and then make it like that. So that is easy. And make sure that applying a blurry background, make sure that the text or the elements here is pop out more compared to the background, because the main goal here is it's not the background but the content here, to make the user click on that call to action button there. And yeah, I keep the footer simple as possible here as well, and a bit more detailed here because this is the way I design. Plan, design, develop, launch. That's the goal of the website. to show the users what are the steps or what are you doing in processing the website. So I think that's it for this tutorial. I hope you've learned something and I hope you enjoyed it. It's kinda long and maybe you get bored, but this may be helpful for the beginners out there who just started. So if I'm doing it fast, just ask question in the comment section below and I will be glad if you suggest something how I can improve for the next tutorial I will be doing. Will it be again teach some design process how to do it, or I can just go directly design the website for you? And if you want it more detailed, I can do that as well. But here, as you notice in this tutorial, I do it more faster because it's really time consuming. But I think you can still follow it, and I hope you have a great output of this tutorial. And I hope you can apply it on your projects as well. So that's it. I'll see you guys on my next tutorial.